Okay, well, I'm not sure if my audio is working. I think we're going to give this a shot anyway. This lovely little horse isn't going to last a whole lot longer out there. So, I also don't have my video person. But this here is Charming Bean. And she is about 2.5 years old or so. She isn't totally halter broke yet. She's still learning about life here. She has not a whole lot of experience with a lot of different people. She has experience with mainly one person. She was a bottle-raised baby. Her mommy died. And this horse means an awful lot to these people. But we'll just see what we can get done here. But she has a few things going on here for her. She's very overreactive. And she really panics at any type of pressure. Trying to walk her into the round pen from her stall. She kind of got me against the rail a few times. I'm just going to kind of toss this at her a little bit. And I'm not going to try and rope her. I just kind of want her to go forward and around and see what's happening. I'm just going to play with this here for a minute. Just kind of move around, see who I am. I can't get her too tired. She doesn't have a whole lot of stamina. She's pretty much out of shape. I gotta be careful that I don't just wear her out and get all the air out of her. If all the air gets out of her, she's not gonna be able to think. So all I did yesterday was just kind of let her blow off some steam and see where she was, and just kind of put her out here and made her run around for a little bit when I didn't have to make her. Just kind of stood here and she kind of went crazy for a while. I just mostly wanted to watch her go and see what she did, and she could see me and get used to what's going on around here a little bit. Now I am about the world's worst roper. So I'm not actually trying to rope her right now. I just want to kind of have this touch her a few times. Yesterday I was far enough away, but I kind of saw it coming. And she kind of gave me one of those double barrel kicks. So I want things to just kind of get to where they just slide across that hind end of hers once or twice before I actually get anything to actually land on her or do anything major, because I don't want her to panic and run through the fence and hurt herself. That never gets anybody anywhere. Go around here a little bit. Just going to get used to the fact I'm kind of quiet. I'm not going to do a whole lot about it for her. If nothing else, my bad roping skills get these horses really good at things flying at them. Again, like I said, I'm not actually trying to catch her. I just want to have this touch her occasionally. She's just kind of checking me out. She doesn't have to canter. She can if she wants. Drop that one. My rope's been sitting on my saddle for a while. It's all kinky. Not panicking too much when it's just hitting her. Let me try her other side, see if I can get her to turn around here. There we go. I don't care if she turns towards me or away from me for a while. I'm really not worried about that at this moment. That's the least of my worries. stand here and swing this a little bit. Okay, so it looks like I kind of lost my audio from the actual microphone that I was using. So I'm going to see if this works. I'm going to speak into this microphone while I'm watching the video. So again, I'm still kind of allowing her to go around. Just occasionally throwing that rope on her. And I'm going to see if I can actually, here in a minute, I'll start actually throwing that rope actually on her. I don't think quite yet, but I know I do here in a minute. So anyway, Charming Bean here, she's about 2.5-year-old filly. I think I told you that already, but this is probably one of the most, they said, one of the most precious of the horses that they'll give me. They really, really liked her mother, and this baby went through everything before it was even born to actually come and be born. Here I'm just taking the pressure off of her. She was doing okay with me touching her with the lariat for the most part, so I just kind of took all my pressure off of her. Get my rope untangled there. It's been sitting on my saddle for a while. Alright, so I'll just kind of okay. And let me move around a little bit here. Got ropes on her now, and I'm just going to kind of let her carry that rope for a little while. They're just kind of get used to it. She's really reactive to any pressure. She's been basically trying to strangle herself a few times in her life now. And just walking her into the round pen there, she slammed me up against the round pen 3 or 4 times pretty hard. Any little bit of any type of pressure, she just really freaks out. Doing what I could to just kind of guide her up there, and then and she just doesn't have any space boundaries really, so she just kind of pushed against me, and then I didn't do too much about it at that point because of where I was standing. And then I went a little bit further, and she jumped and slammed me into the fence again and kind of dragged me along there. I kind of bumped the halter a little bit, and she kind of freaked out. Just made sure she didn't kick me. And I kept walking a little bit further. She did it again, and had some. Right before we got to the gate there, she really pushed, and I bumped the halter even harder, and she went several feet up in the air. So any little pressure on her, she really is not a happy camper. So I let her kind of just kind of carry that weight of the lariat there for a little bit. This is going to be probably one of the most boring videos, but means a lot to the horse. I'm just kind of letting her understand what it means to not have pressure, so that she can understand when she does have pressure and when it's released, it's the better place to be. So I have enough pressure on that halter or on that lariat at times that she's wouldn't be a whole lot harder than if I was just holding the kid's hand in the grocery store or something. Not really pulling real hard, just keeping a steady pressure on her. And all I want her to do is, as soon as she stops, I release all that pressure. She can walk off again as many times as she wants, but I want her to understand when she feels pressure, she needs to come off of it, figure out what it is. She needs to practice her emotions. So as she's walking along, I just kind of hold there. My body language is just really relaxed. You see, I even start yawning here in a little bit on the video if you can see it. Again, sorry, this is actually the camera set up in my truck, and like I was saying, my daughter went off to college, and she usually runs my video camera, so which is how I didn't realize that the sound was gone. I'm gonna have to check that. Maybe the battery ran out or something. But so that's why it's just a really steady film this time, and it probably will be for a lot of them. But because she does kind of get really reactive at pressure and stuff like that, I keep her a little bit away from me. And there I think I was explaining, all I did was I just put a little bit extra pressure on the actual lariat, and you saw her kind of get a little bit more excited. I mean, I put maybe a pound of pressure on it instead of a couple ounces that I have holding her right there. And she got pretty excited about it. And there'll be times where she took me for a little walk, and I just kind of went with her. There, as soon as she stops, I just release all the pressure, and I'll let her just stand there and relax as long as she can. Kind of help her out with it. Just let her understand all the kind of good stuff going on there. When she wants to walk off again, that's perfectly fine with me. She can walk right back on off. Just gives me plenty more time to help her learn how not to, or how to stop. She walks, I have to stop her again. I just want her to understand pressure, stop, check in with me, do something, but I can't let her get too close to me because she does kick out. Yet, so far, I mean, it's only day one here, other than moving around the round pen last night. So I don't really have a whole lot of control because the rope is pretty far down on her neck. I'm not trying to choke her out or anything like that. I really don't have a whole lot of pressure on there. Just kind of letting her feel that. And every time she stops, I just say, alrighty, there you go. You can stand and relax. But if she gets too close into me, I'm just going to kind of gently push her out. And you'll probably see here in a little bit as it starts going, as she gets closer and closer and starts looking to me a little bit more. If I slide my hand down that line, it feels much more pressure to her. If I just kind of hand over hand down the rope, she's alright, but every time I slide my hand down the rope, she jumps. So she's really, really sensitive. I'm just keeping it really nice and easy. I could put all sorts of pressure on her right now and get her doing stuff, and trust me, I will be doing that before too long. If you've watched any of my other videos, you know I get kind of silly and goofy with these horses, and I'm bouncing all over them, flags, bags, tarps, cans, you know. I'm jumping up and down and whatever else, but right now I just want her to understand, because she doesn't have the understanding of stand and relax. Pressure doesn't mean panic. Pressure just means come off of it, find out where it's coming from, and just relax. See, now here she's going to turn around away from me, and that's alright. And she faces me, and I'll just take all my pressure off, and in a second here I'm going to flip that rope over her head pretty gently, and you'll see kind of the reaction she gets out of it. She's very sensitive, and all I'm doing is kind of explaining things to her for a day or two. So again, this is like kind of a boring video, but this is going to mean an awful lot to her. If anybody actually gets through this whole video, I'd be surprised. I'm actually probably going to be cutting some of this out. I'll edit some of it out. It just kind of goes around for quite a while. I mean, the whole process here takes about less than an hour. But not too many people want to sit there and watch it. So anyway, I'm going to stop this and cut a little bit out of the middle here. But pretty much all she does is every time she stops, I just release and relax, stop and release and relax. Then I'll cut out a few minutes here, and then when it starts getting to some other stuff happening, but that's all that's happening here for a while. So, all I did here is only cut out a couple minutes, because you'll see she's going to start yielding to the pressure here on the lariat. So I just wanted you to see that she's starting to make some changes now. She's starting to come into me, starting to kind of look towards me a little bit more at this point. Just wanted you to see that this was starting to happen, and it was only a couple minutes that were cut out there. So I just apply a little bit of pressure, and I'm just kind of like winding her in basically, but at least she's yielding to the pressure. Her hindquarters aren't moving out of the way yet. She's not totally bending, but she's starting to. You'll see every time I just kind of pull on that lariat just a little bit, she just kind of comes into me, and this just gets better and better and better as time goes here. Okay, now you're going to see me. I'm going to start getting closer to the fence to kind of give her a little bit more of an idea to kind of help her out. She's been doing pretty well. But I'm going to start backing up so that I get a little closer to the other horses and a little closer to the edge of the round pen. I don't want to totally block her, because if she turns and takes off the other way, it's not going to help at this point. So I'm just going to see if I can get her to find a place that she kind of want to stop here. So I'm just going to kind of keep creeping back towards that round pen panel in the back towards the other horses. Again, not force her to stop, not going to cut her off. Just kind of hopefully give her a little incentive. So she's doing pretty good, but that's what I'm going to be doing here for a while. Just searching, figuring out what to do, pulling on me here and there. Thinking about stopping every once in a while, and as soon as I release a little bit, then kind of gets her a little worried. As soon as something changes, anything changes, and then she takes off again. So now you're going to see that she's actually going to go the other way. So I'm going to just allow that lariat to kind of kick back on the other side of her for a while. But in the meantime, she's kind of stopped looking at the other horses, which is kind of what I wanted. There she kind of walks off the other way. That lead rope's kind of around the back of her. And in the next day or so after I'm recording this here, she's actually gotten really good at this, and I've been able to just throw that rope over her butt and around her hind feet, and she just comes unwound really nice and soft. Her biggest problem is when it comes up and touches her ears and goes over her pole. So I worked on that a lot, especially yesterday, when she came leaps and bounds and figuring all this kind of pressure out. Wish I would have had a video camera when I was working on that, because it worked really well. Basically, just from 20-25 feet away there, I just kind of threw that lariat over, touching between her ears, and just let her. She had quite a few conniption fits, little temper tantrums, and pretty soon she got to where she could handle it all right, because I wasn't anywhere near it. It was just the rope hanging off of her. So, but that's the day after and 2 days from this recording here. She's progressing nicely. There we go. There she kind of went the wrong way, and that's alright. So I just tossed that rope out and let her step over it and start again. No big deal. Because again, it doesn't look like it's helping her a lot, but the next day she did phenomenal, and the day after that she did even better than that. So even though, like I said, it doesn't always look exciting, but lots is happening right now. She's kind of got a little excited about stuff, and took off, the wind started to blow a little bit more, and things started happening. a little burst of energy there. Just starting to try and cut her off just a little bit. Again, I can't do it too hard this first day because she'd just go right through the round pen probably on me. So I just start backing up and just start cutting it off little bit by little bit until I get her attention. And then she'll stop up here in a minute. And get it figured out. She's just lost yet this first day here. There we go. She turns around. Calming down again. Alright, so it's just a couple minutes later, and all of a sudden she's making some big changes. She's starting to really look into me here pretty quick. She's going to make a change. Just waiting on her. Just getting closer and closer. But again, still this first day here, I'm kind of staying away from those hindquarters. All I'm doing is waiting for her to look at me and find total release, so that she can settle down. So again, this first day, getting her to the first and second day. This is day 2 technically, but first day I just kind of let her run around like crazy. But you know, we've had 3-4 slammings up against the round pen, just trying to get her from her stall into the round pen. You know, a few leaps in the air, a few leaps and bounds and fun stuff. And now I can walk her back and forth really easy. She comes following me all over the place without anything on. She's progressed a lot in a couple days. There we go. I'll offer her some pets. And if she looks away or goes away, that's fine. I'm not going to try and keep her there. I want to let her know that that's the place that'd be kind of cool to be. Pretty soon she starts looking for it more and more and more. That was the first time she really came in and was asking for something. Directly from me, anyway. So just kind of reel her in there. She's yielding to that pressure instead of pulling away so real hard anymore. And just going to start finding that when she comes to me, focuses on me, stands still and relaxes, she gets lots of pets. And she's even at the point today where she likes hugs and little kisses on her face and stuff, so, which on this day you couldn't. Kind of tried to give her a two-handed hug there that day, and she didn't like that. Still couldn't even get the lariat off her head yet that day, so it's just the beginning process. I'm not going to make her leave, but when she's ready. Here I'm just kind of backing off of her, trying to give her a choice. Does she want to leave or does she want to come to me? Just taking all the pressure off, and she can make her own choice. Doesn't matter to me which one she picks at this point. Just trying to decide. Go, stay, get more pets, walk over to the other horses. Just not sure, but I'm letting her make her own mind. Letting her make some decisions. As long as the decision isn't turn and kick me, I'm not going to do much else wrong. Then the first day she wouldn't stand there with me at all like this, so, you know, when I was just letting her kind of go around the round pen to see where she was. And even at the beginning of this, she wouldn't stand in the middle of the round pen with me. There's no pressure on that line. Just standing there, waiting for her to make a choice. your choice, and that's okay. Just gives me another time to start again. But you'll see it'll take less and less and less here to kind of want to come in and see what I'm all about. There, she's looking right towards me. Give her some more pets. She's looking for me. I just pet her real gentle. You don't go, hitting her, patting her, or scratching really hard. Just kind of pet her right on the face. There. She comes to me and reaches out for me. I'll reach right back. Let her come to me. That's what I want. So again, to some people this is, as they say, kind of like watching the paint dry. But to me it's really cool. Especially when you're in there doing it, maybe not standing on the outside watching it, unless it's your horse. And again, here I'm giving her another choice. Does she want to go, or does she want to stay? Or does she want to come to me? So anyway, we work on this for a few minutes. I'll just kind of cut a little bit of this out because it goes on for a little while. Doing this a couple times. Okay, so actually here in a second, I really didn't cut anything out there. So all of a sudden I realized she was going to come to me pretty quick, and then we were going to be done here soon anyway. So here she comes. Kind of looks me up and comes right on in. Just thinking these little pets here aren't so bad after all. Now here I'm trying to take the halter off of her head. Or the halter, the lariat off of her. She's not really wanting me to do that. She has a real problem with pressure over top of her head, which I work on in the next 2 days. It takes a little bit, and I just carefully try and open up that lariat far enough. Try not to let her leave. Try not to turn and kick me. And just gently lift it over her ears. Real soon here Roger comes back with his client, and then she kind of gets distracted, so I just kind of let her go for a while. She needs a break here anyway. That's pretty much what we do. And then I just walk over and give her a minute. That's pretty much the end of that day. Just kind of put her back in her pen, and when I take her back to the stall, she goes back a lot better than she went out. And over the next couple days, like I said, she's walking back and forth like a charm. Here, see, she's even come to check me out without anything on her, which is absolutely wonderful. That's what I want from her. Always looking for me. Good job.